Greetings, health champions, and welcome. I'm Dr. Daniel Foster, and as a geriatric health specialist here in the U.S., I've seen firsthand the silent threat that is undermining the vitality and longevity of our community, especially those of us over 60. The silent epidemic. Threatening your longevity. Did you know that fatty liver disease, a condition where fat builds up in your liver, affects an astonishing number of people today? We're talking over 2 billion people globally, and the rates here in the United States are alarmingly high, often tracking alongside the rising rates of obesity and type 2 diabetes. What's truly shocking is that the vast majority of people with a fatty liver don't even know they have it. It's a silent, progressive condition. But here's the grim truth. If you ignore it, this buildup of fat can lead to inflammation, severe scarring of the liver, a condition called cirrhosis, and, ultimately, even death. This isn't just a concern for those with a history of heavy drinking anymore. In fact, more than 99% of all fatty liver cases in the world today are actually the non-alcoholic type, driven by our modern diet and lifestyle. Here's where the confusion and the danger begins. If you were to find out you had a fatty liver and sought to fix it, most of the standard advice you'd receive would be the exact opposite of what you truly need to do for a real, lasting recovery. The common, almost reflexive mindset is to seek a magic bullet. We think in terms of superfoods or an amazing herb. People ask, what foods cure a fatty liver? Is apple good? What about turmeric or honey? We're looking for a quick fix, some supernatural root or potion to treat the symptoms, and this is where the conventional approach fails. While I'm not saying certain foods like turmeric, coffee, or milk thistle can't help, they might add a 5% benefit. You don't start there. Trying to treat a fatty liver with a superfood before addressing the root cause is like trying to put out a roaring house fire with a water hose while someone next to you is spraying it with a gasoline hose. The water has no effect. The crucial first step must be to stop the cause. We have to shift our focus from a medical mindset of treating the disease to a physiological mindset of reversing the imbalance. The body is inherently capable of healing itself, but we have to remove the insult and provide the resources. In this deep dive, I'm going to reveal the 3 critical pillars for genuinely reversing fatty liver disease, especially as we age. We're going to expose the true root cause that the standard medical model often overlooks, correct some major misconceptions about diet, and provide you with an actionable plan to reclaim your liver health and boost your overall well-being. Pillar 1. Eliminate the cause, the overload crisis. The first, most vital step in reversing a fatty liver is to stop adding the thing that is causing the problem. You must remove the gasoline hose before the water hose can even begin to work. The problem, correlation, is not causation. When you talk to healthcare professionals about the root cause of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, the immediate answers are often things like being obese or having high cholesterol. Is excess weight a problem? Yes, it's a correlation, but it's not the ultimate cause. You can have excess weight without being metabolically unhealthy or having a fatty liver. The real root cause that most everyone agrees on is metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. Insulin is a storage hormone. When you have high levels of insulin over a long period, your cells become resistant to it. This creates a state of congestion in the body. We are constantly storing too much. This systemic congestion affects every cell, including those in the liver, leading to a fat buildup. Metabolic syndrome is simply a diagnostic group term for this state, including high blood pressure, high triglycerides, a large waist circumference, often over 40 inches for men and 35 inches for women in the US, and critically, insulin resistance. But what causes the insulin resistance? What foods create this metabolic problem and make the fatty liver worse? The importance, the saturated fat, myth versus the sugar reality. For decades, we've been told to avoid things high in fat, especially saturated fat, red meat, full-fat cheese, yogurt, coconut oil, and palm oil. These recommendations are based on research that, frankly, grouped all fats together and mistakenly blamed them for the damage caused by manufactured trans fats and margarine. The real culprit has been hiding in plain sight, often listed as a secondary factor while fat takes the heat: sugar. Sugar is the real toxin to the liver. Here's why it's a critical overload issue. Fructose. Overload table sugar, sucrose, and high fructose corn syrup, which is everywhere in American processed foods, both contain fructose. Unlike glucose, which can be processed by every cell in your body, fructose can only be processed in the liver. Alcohol and toxins, like medications and pesticides, also primarily have to be processed by the liver. When you consume a lot of sugar, alcohol, and toxins, you are creating a massive overload because the liver is the only organ equipped to handle the fructose and the toxins. All the other stuff, the glucose, gets spread out, but these three compounds overload the liver's capacity to function. The sugar-to-fat conversion. Sugar turns into fat right in the liver. It's the high, chronic intake of sugar and refined carbohydrates that drives the engine of fat production, not dietary fat itself. The solution? The triple threat. Detox. To eliminate the cause, you must address the three sources of liver overload immediately. Action Step 1. Zero tolerance for added sugar and refined carbs. This is the single biggest change you can make. Cut out sugary items, candy, sodas, fruit juices, which are often pure fructose delivery systems, and any food with added sugars, including high fructose corn syrup. Additionally, reduce refined carbohydrates like white bread, white rice, and high-carb baked goods that rapidly break down into glucose, putting pressure on insulin. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Action Step 2. Avoid alcohol. Alcohol is undeniably a toxin to the liver. Even though your NAFLD isn't caused by alcohol, consuming it simply adds another layer of work and stress to an already struggling organ. In large doses, it's a direct liver cell killer. If you want your liver to heal, you must eliminate this toxin. This is one piece of standard medical advice that is absolutely correct. Action Step 3. Mind the oils. Eliminate processed vegetable oils, also sometimes called seed oils, from your diet. This includes canola, rapeseed, soybean, corn, safflower, and sunflower oils. These oils are extracted using extreme pressure, high temperatures, and often chemical solvents like petrochemicals. This process makes them highly oxidized, damaged, and toxic before they ever reach your supermarket shelf in places like Walmart or Kroger. Furthermore, they are typically very high in pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids, which push your entire body, including your liver, into an inflammatory state. Replace them with healthy cooking fats like avocado oil, olive oil, for low-heat cooking or dressing, butter, or coconut oil. If you're finding this information on the true root cause helpful in understanding your health journey, please leave a just in a 1 in the comments section below. If not, leave a 0 so I can improve in future videos. Pillar 2. Reverse the damage, the resource crisis. Once you've stopped the insult, Pillar 1, the body can finally begin the process of reversing the damage. For the liver to dissolve and flush out the accumulated fat, it must have the correct resources. Unfortunately, the common dietary advice often tells you to avoid the very foods that provide these essential resources. The problem: lack of raw materials. The liver is incredibly hardworking, performing over 500 different functions, including filtering blood, regulating cholesterol, and synthesizing proteins. It's like a massive, constantly running factory. If you want a factory to perform complex cleanup and repair operations, you must provide the necessary fuel and raw materials. A key challenge with chronic congestion from insulin resistance is a state of low-grade chronic inflammation. The prolonged metabolic stress creates an environment where the liver cells are constantly under siege. If this inflammation escalates, you move from a simple fatty liver, steatosis, or NAFLD, to non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH, where the itis means intense inflammation, and liver cells begin to break down, spilling enzymes like ALT and AST into your bloodstream. This is a sign you're slipping into a more dangerous, harder to reverse stage. The importance: fueling the liver's cleanup crew. To counteract the fat buildup and intense inflammation, your liver needs specific nutrients to power its detoxification and fat-dissolving processes. The glutathione requirement. The body's primary, most powerful antioxidant is glutathione. It acts as the ultimate cleanup molecule, neutralizing free radicals and toxins. To make glutathione, your body needs specific amino acids, methionine and cysteine. The choline requirement. Choline is a B vitamin-like nutrient absolutely essential for the liver. It's the critical resource that helps the liver dissolve and export the accumulated fat. If you are low in choline, the fat stays stuck in your liver cells, and the whole reversal process stalls. The solution: strategic nutrient loading. Instead of looking for a single superfood with marginal benefits, focus on a high-quality, nutrient-dense diet that provides these key resources. Action step 1. Embrace nutrient-dense animal products. Contrary to the low-fat orthodoxy, some of the richest sources of the amino acids, methionine and cysteine, needed to make glutathione are the very foods we are often told to limit or avoid: beef, chicken, pork, and eggs. Similarly, the best sources of choline are egg yolks, liver, if you can find it at your local butcher in places like Texas or Nebraska, and dairy products. These foods are not your enemy. They are the liver's raw materials. Focus on high-quality, whole food sources of animal products, which also provide healthy saturated and monounsaturated fats that your body needs. Action step 2. Load up on cruciferous greens and bile stimulants. Pairing high-quality animal products with an abundance of vegetables creates a complete nutritional package. Cruciferous greens like broccoli, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, easily found at any supermarket in the U.S., are packed with compounds that support the liver's detoxification pathways. Action step 3. Stop the low-fat mistake to ensure toxin removal. The liver makes bile, which is then stored in the gallbladder. Along with bile, the liver dumps a lot of the toxins it has processed. The way to get rid of these toxins is for the gallbladder to empty into the bowel for elimination. This emptying is only triggered by the presence of fat in the digestive tract. If you're eating a low-fat diet, a strategy often recommended for fatty liver, there is no signal for the gallbladder to empty. The whole system backs up, toxins stay in the gallbladder, the liver can't put new ones in, and detoxification stalls. A diet with healthy, natural fats is crucial for a healthy bile flow and proper detoxification. If you found this breakdown of the liver's resource needs to be a valuable insight into your health, please leave a 1 in the comments. If this information wasn't what you expected, leave a 0 for me to consider for future content. Pillar 3. Manage the flow, the blood supply crisis. We can eliminate the insult and provide the resources, but there is one more fundamental mechanism that determines whether your liver can actually use those resources to heal: blood flow. This is where the world outside of diet and medication, your stress level, plays a profound role. The problem: worrying your way to disease. You can be eating the cleanest diet from San Diego to New York and still be struggling to heal because your body is stuck in a state of defense. When we talk about health, stress is almost always on the list. But most people don't truly understand why it matters so much to the liver. What does stress have to do with the liver not recovering? It's all about the autonomic nervous system and its role as a resource allocator. Your autonomic nervous system handles everything you don't have to think about: your heartbeat, breathing, digestion, and crucially, blood flow. This system has 2 branches. Sympathetic nervous system. This is your stress response or fight or flight mode, responsible for defense. Parasympathetic nervous system. This is your rest and digest mode, responsible for repair and recovery. The rule is simple. You can defend yourself or you can repair stuff, but you cannot do both at the same time. When you are stressed, even by the daily, chronic, low-level anxieties that are so common, like worries about finances, family, or politics, your nervous system shifts you into the sympathetic defense state. The importance: turning off the faucet. In the defense state, your body allocates its precious resources, blood, oxygen, nutrients, away from non-essential functions and toward immediate survival. Resources are sent to your heart and large muscles in preparation for flight, and they are pulled away at the expense of your vital organs, including your liver. The liver needs a robust, steady supply of blood to receive the fuel and resources, like choline and amino acids you're providing, and to flush away the toxins it's processed. If you have less blood flow because your nervous system is consistently stuck in defense mode, it's like you're shutting off the supply faucet to the liver. It starves the organ of what it needs to clean up the fat and heal the damage. This means you can be doing everything right with your diet and still struggle to reverse your fatty liver because your nervous system is essentially overriding your efforts. The solution: program your nervous system for repair. Healing your liver requires consciously programming your body to move from the sympathetic defense state to the parasympathetic repair state. Action step 1. Implement daily relaxation practice. Regularly engage in activities that signal safety to your nervous system. This could be meditation, which has been shown to calm the mind and body. Deep diaphragmatic breathing exercises, breathing slowly into your belly. Or simply taking 15 minutes to sit quietly without screens or distractions. Think of it as hitting the reset button on your internal resource allocator. Action step 2. Gentle, consistent exercise. Exercise is a powerful balancer of the autonomic nervous system. You don't need to train for a marathon. Aim for brisk walking around your neighborhood in communities like Phoenix or upstate New York, or join a gentle water aerobics class at your local community center. Consistent, moderate activity helps you process stress hormones and shifts your body toward a healthier balance between defense and repair. Action step 3. Practice emotional detachment. This is perhaps the most profound lesson. You can worry or you can heal your liver, but you can't do both at the same time. Stress is not about how you think you feel, but how your nervous system has been conditioned to respond. If you are constantly allowing the news, a difficult phone call, or minor inconveniences to trigger a stress response, you are chronically throttling the blood supply to your liver. Make a conscious commitment to managing your emotional responses and choosing calm. If you understand the profound connection between stress and liver blood flow and find this actionable, please leave a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0 to guide my future content. Conclusion: reclaiming your liver health and your legacy. For too long, the approach to a common, debilitating condition like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease has been misguided, focusing on treating symptoms or chasing dietary myths. As a health champion, especially as we advance in years, your goal shouldn't be to manage a disease, but to reverse the imbalance that created it. Here is a summary of the 5 core shifts that will allow you to reclaim your liver health and improve your overall longevity. Acknowledge the true enemy is sugar, not saturated fat. Recognize that chronic high insulin, driven by excessive sugar and refined carbs, is the primary cause of metabolic congestion and fat overload in the liver. Stop the triple threat: sugar, alcohol, and processed seed oils. Understand reversibility. The good news is that the vast majority of people, those in the fatty liver stage, NAFLD, without significant scarring, are in a completely reversible state. Even the early stages of inflammation, NASH, can often be reversed, but the key is immediate and consistent action. Fuel the cleanup with critical resources. Ignore the low-fat craze for liver health. Your liver needs specific raw materials like the amino acids in quality meats and eggs to create its master detoxifier, glutathione, and choline to dissolve and export fat. Embrace healthy fats for detoxification. The liver's toxin removal system relies on bile flow, which is triggered by the presence of healthy fats. By incorporating quality fats like those from olives and avocados, you keep the detoxification channel open. Prioritize peace for optimal blood flow. Healing is a resource allocation issue. By practicing daily relaxation and stress management, you turn the blood supply faucet back onto your liver, providing it with the necessary fuel to perform its crucial repair work. You must transition your nervous system from a state of defense to a state of repair. Your liver is a resilient organ, and it's capable of a remarkable degree of healing, even in our senior years. This is about more than just a single organ. It's about restoring your metabolic health, reducing your risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease, and ensuring your golden years are lived with energy and vitality. The most valuable life lesson here is one of choice and control. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, your health is one area where you still hold the most powerful cards. Every meal is a choice. Every moment you choose, calm over worry, is a choice. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control your response, and that response, that shift from defense to repair, is the key to your internal healing. My call to action for you: start today. Make one simple change. Eliminate sugary drinks for the next 7 days. Then add 15 minutes of quiet time to your day. This isn't a quick fix. It's a lifestyle shift, a long-term investment in your most vital asset. If this knowledge has empowered you, please share this with a friend or family member. especially if they are over 60 or have struggled with their weight or blood sugar. And finally, I want to hear from you. Comment below with the one change you are committing to this week, whether it's cutting out soda or trying meditation. Let's support each other on this journey to true health mastery. And to never miss a life-saving video that breaks down the true mechanisms of your body, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Be well and be a champion of your own health.